Bye-bye, Mrs Doyle. A sad departure from the yard, because this is another car that I very much enjoyed owning. Even though I only managed to do about 450 miles in it, I enjoyed every single one of those miles, and I wish I could be doing many more, but I won't be doing, because it's gone to a place called Scotland. The Rover R8, one of my favourite Rovers, and the Tourer is the rare one, the one that you should keep, the one I wanted to keep. Just like the 420 GSI that I had previously, it was my full intention to keep that car forever, and I took Mrs Doyle as a part exchange. But now Mrs Doyle is gone. It's gone! It has, it's gone, but it's gone to a very good home. Anyway, to keep the yard going, of course, Mrs Doyle did go up for sale, because it's not like I was depending on that car. And I had nothing but, well, disappointment, to be honest. People saying they wanted it, then they didn't. People saying that they didn't want it, then they did. Eventually I did actually put it on Car and Classic, but I've had nothing from that. And then suddenly the offer of a swap came up. A swap. I don't need a swap, I need the money, but this one is one I'm particularly interested in. Look. Alfie. The return of Alfie. The Rover 45 that I bought a couple of years back and absolutely loved. And now it's back. That is an exchange worthwhile. Now, if you're new to the channel, you may look at this and think, well, surely the car's a lot rarer than just a 45. Yes, it is. It is rarer. So why would I do a swap for that, for this? Well, let's have a look at it. For a start, it's not going to take you too long to discover just what lovely condition this car is in. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it so much in the first place. It isn't actually perfect body-wise, but it has very little to point out. Just a couple of minor trolley dings like that. It only has 50,000 miles on the clock, and it being a W reg, it's the earliest 45 you can get. Previously, this car had lots of love and attention from viewers, with good reason, because of how nice it looks. And not only that, it does drive absolutely spot on, which is why when I put this car up for sale, I put it up at a decent price. I wanted it to go to a decent proper home, and it did. It got sold to my friend Aaron in Scotland. During my time with this car, I had no problems with it. Everything was fine. I think I did about 4,000 miles in it, enjoyed every single one of them. But Aaron took it and it went wrong. And that is where the start of this car being good value in the swap really begins. Underneath the bonnet we find the 1.6 litre K-Series engine, which is very smooth and very quiet. But it did suffer from head gasket failure 2 days after Aaron had bought it, which is exceedingly unfortunate. Now, we put this down to it being pootled around quite a bit in my use and just driven gently and never actually going over 60 miles per hour, to a 200-mile thrash up the motorway, you know, at the proper speed. And then suddenly the coolant ended up in the oil, which, well, it means there's something gone wrong. That was awfully embarrassing. But Aaron, being the dedicated man that he is, he paid to get the car fixed. And it didn't stop there, because everything else under here that could possibly have needed doing has been done. New radiator, new battery, new bits, new sensors, new, well, actually everything. That includes all the fluids as well. Oh, there's a stereo. Now, there wasn't one there before because it had one of those expensive business CD thingies, you know, the BMW business radio that people buy. And it never really bothered me, because the first thing I do when I get into a car and drive it is switch the radio off, the inside is pretty much exactly as it was, except for one thing I just noticed. Air freshener of Alfie. That's cool. See, you don't forget what car you're driving, I guess. See, the boot is still dry, which is nice. In fact, this car has always been something of a mystery because Rover are known for leaky interiors, the 75 being the worst one. But this one's always been really dry in there, which is nice. What else is nice? I sold this car with the Cosmos wheels on. A set of wheels that really do suit the Rover 45, but Aaron went ahead and had them refurbished. So they're very, very nice indeed. The last time I drove this car, it made me want to have a 45 again, because I just enjoyed it so much. It's such an easy, nice, comfortable and pleasant, straight car. So chances are next month will be Alfie month, where I shall use this car all month and whatever else comes my way as well. There's always something. Start every month off with one car and then something else pops along. So why not? Yes, what a lovely little special motor this really is. I feel right at home in it, as to be expected. And the way these things drive is just fabulous. They're just such a driver. They are just a proper driver's car. It's not particularly fast, but it just goes round corners so nicely. And the seats, oh yeah, the seats, how much comfort you need in your seats. Well, I mean, I've been driving an Audi A6 about, which you'd imagine would have really very good seats indeed. And they're alright, but they're not a patch on these. These are really good. These are really comfortable because you have lumbar support. And a man with a bad back needs lumbar support. And I feel like I'm doing a test drive all over again on my own car. I can't believe it's mine again. I wonder if the heated seat still works. I'm going to try it out. Oh, as I remember, for some reason, the switches were on the wrong way round. That's not a difficult thing to fix really, because it just means pulling the bit out of the centre there, unplugging and replugging. Can I feel any heat there? No, can I feel any heat here? Maybe they're not working now. So it's a possibility, isn't it? I sold this car with a full MOT, and it's come back with almost a full MOT. It's got about 11 months. Tonight I was supposed to be taking home a different car. I was going to tell you what it is then, but I was going to have a little game with that instead. And instead I kind of want to take this home, but I have promised myself I would take this other car because it's not relevant. Why do I need to tell you about this? I really don't, do I? We're talking about this car and what this car's like. Well, it's like brilliant is what it's like. Oh, no knocks, no rattles, nothing like that. Drives in a straight line, stops, and sounds nice as well. It is a lovely car. It's about as good as they get, in fact. There can't be many Rover 45s that are better than what this is. And seriously, what a spectacular colour. I know it's not the top model, it's got wind down windows in the back, it has cloth seats, but they're in nice condition and they're exceedingly comfortable. And the aircon still works, which is quite a nice thing to find out. Some sort of mini convoy. What a wonderful car to have back. Oh, it's got new brakes on the front as well, new calipers, new discs. Cosmos alloys, aren't they fantastic? I know this car isn't as rare as Mrs Doyle. It's not even quite as well made. and it has a K series rather than the Honda D series, which many people would say isn't as good, but actually it's more economical. This car is just so handsome. It's so classic with the alloy. It's the colour that does it, the midnight blue, and with it shining so nicely, it's just something else. Actually, this is the kind of light where it's at its best, because in direct sunlight you can see that door has been resprayed, but in this kind of light you can't. It's wonderful. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for being a channel member, thank you for liking this video, and thank you for watching it all the way to the end if you have done, and thank you to Aaron for thinking of me when he wanted my car. He was going to put this up for sale, then when it sold he was going to buy the Tourer, and he just said, well, don't just do a swap instead. I didn't have to think about it too long. Well, I mean, a part of me was saying that's just not the sensible thing to do, because in actual fact it isn't the sensible thing to do on many levels, because money pays bills, cars don't. But I'm sure that this video will be of great interest to some of my long-term channel watchers. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.